Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Football Wizards. After a crazy season last year and an overall rank of 534, we are back with our first draft of the 1920 season. This time with the price updates, the FPL guys have made it really tough to find cheap enablers like last year's Aaron Van Bissaka and Matt Doherty. Before we start, I would just like to remind you that this is our initial draft and there will be many changes in the subsequent weeks based on the preseason matches, so please subscribe to our channel and stay in touch. In the goalkeeping position, we have Nick Pope as our first choice goalie at the moment. He didn't feature last year due to injury problems, but with rumours of Heaton to Aston Villa, he could be Burnley's first choice keeper this season. However, the goalkeeping position is still open to change and will be updated in the subsequent drafts. Along with Pope, we have David Button as a cheap enabler. In case the transfer of Heaton to Aston Villa goes through, there is a good possibility that we might get both Pope and Heaton because they offer very good rotation options. Moving on to defenders, our first defender pick is Kyle Walker. With 150 points and 18 clean sheets last season, Walker offers a decent route into the City defence. Although Laporte is the better option, we chose Walker to save 0.5 million. In case John Stones features regularly in the preseason, he can also be considered. Mendy would have been a very good option to have, but he is currently injured. Also, we have chosen Walker over Zinchenko at the moment because he is more nailed on. If in preseason Zinchenko plays all the games and starts in the Community Shield, then he might also become an option. Our next defender is Virgil Van Dyke, who was the second highest scoring defender behind Robertson last season. With 20 clean sheets, Virgil van Dijk is already selected by over 40% FPL managers. One advantage that he has over Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold is that he is sure to start every game as centre-backs do not need to be rested. He is also priced $500,000 less than the full-backs, and with really favourable fixtures to start the season, 3 Liverpool players are essential. The third defender in our team is Trent Alexander-Arnold. With 1 goal and 13 assists last season, Trent Alexander-Arnold made 29 appearances. There is a strong case to be made for Robertson, who was more regular with 36 appearances, but the reason for selecting Alexander-Arnold is that he is more explosive of the two and had 6.38 points per game last season as compared to Robertson's 5.9. To be honest, there is not much between them, especially at the start of the season. Some managers might even prefer to pick both fullbacks and leave out Virgil van Dijk, which in my opinion is a perfectly good strategy as well. With a very decent fixture list at the start of the season, we have Luca Dean as our fourth defender. With 4 goals and 5 assists last season, Dean managed a decent 4.51 points per game. Although he is much more expensive this time around at 6 million, his attacking threat along with his set-piece delivery makes him one of the best defensive prospects, especially at the start of the season. As our fifth and last defender, we have Kelly of Crystal Palace. With 26 points last season and the transfer of Aaron Van Bissaka to United, Kelly will probably start the season at right back for Crystal Palace unless they buy someone else. He is one of the few 4 million players who actually have a chance of starting. In midfield, the first name on every FPL manager's team sheet should be Mo Salah. Valued at $500,000 less at 12.5 compared to last year, Salah is a player who you should keep for the length of the season unless he gets injured. With a whopping 259 points and the Golden Boot with 22 goals last season, he will be the favourite to get the armband against Norwich in Game Week 1. The second midfielder is Raheem Sterling. The second highest point scoring player last season with 17 goals and 15 assists, he was instrumental in City's title win. Having a similar points per game score to Salah, Sterling will look to continue his wonderful form in this season as well. As discussed previously, the Merseyside Blues have a very kind fixture schedule at the start of the season, so our third pick is Gylfi Sigurdsson. He scored 182 points last season with 13 goals and 6 assists. Although he missed a couple of penalties, we are sure that he will be the designated penalty taker for Everton this season as well. Ryan Fraser of Bournemouth is our fourth midfielder. With 7 goals and 14 assists, Fraser was the best budget midfielder last season. With his price going up drastically this season, we still feel that he is a good option to have in your team, owing to the decent start to the season. Valued at 4.5 million, Dendoncker is our last midfielder, who will be on the bench for most of the games. He actually seems like this season's Dale Stephens. Josh King is our first striker. As discussed with Fraser, Bournemouth have a very decent start to the season, and with 12 goals and 3 assists last season, Josh King is one of the best options in the 6 to 7 million price bracket. Another player who is a good option in the similar price range is Delaffei. With 133 points last season, he will look to keep up his good form, especially with Watford having decent fixtures at the start of the season. As of now, none of the 4.5 million strikers seem to be occupying a starting place in any of the teams, so we randomly selected Xande Silva of West Ham. So this is our first draft of the 1920 season. The League of the Football Wizards is back, and once again we would like to congratulate our last season's winner Dave Leahy for his wonderful performance. To join the league, please use the code shown on the screen. I hope you enjoyed our first video of the 1920 season, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye bye.